Hi, time for another Serger Tip Clip. Today I'd like to show you how to use the chain stitch for fitting alterations. I'm going to use my Stockbridge skirt to show you how using the chain stitch while you're doing your fitting alterations is a great alternative to just a long basting stitch on your sewing machine. As a special thank you to all of my viewers and customers, for the holidays through January 4th, I'm offering the Stockbridge skirt and shaped hem template set together for $20. And what could be a better gift for a sewer to open for the holidays than Serger Essentials, Master the Basics and Beyond? It's available now on Amazon. I'm very excited about it, so happy holidays to all of you. And now let's get down to business and let me show you how to use the chain stitch for alterations. I think you're going to love this technique. Let's talk about machine setup. We're in cover chain stitch mode, so I have my cover hem table on, and the chain stitch utilizes just 2 threads. There's a single needle that's threaded, and whether your machine asks you to put that single needle in the right, center, or left position, just check your owner's manual on that. It may have a suggestion for which one works best. And the only other thread is the chain looper thread, which is right here. And I have my stitch length on even just a touch longer than 3.5. I want a nice long chain, very easy to pull out. My differential feed setting is normal because I'm working on a woven fabric. But again, that may be different for you depending on the type of fabric that you're working on. Just as a little reminder, whenever you're in the cover chain stitch mode, you want to always start with your fabric under the needle, not just under the foot. I have the Stockbridge skirt and I just stitched 2 panels together. The actual skirt itself has 8 panels and 8 seams, so it's super easy to alter, but I thought it would be a little bit unwieldy to have them all together, so I just have the 2 and 1 seam to show you. Now I've stitched it in with the chain stitch, and let's not say that when we go to try on the skirt that it's a little snug. Let's just say that we took too deep a seam allowance. Don't pull it out yet, because it's all basted in for you, and you can just take a slightly shallower seam allowance, and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to show you the best part of using the chain stitch for an alteration. I've stitched in my new seam right here, shallower seam allowance. Here's the original one, and now I'm going to show you what I call the agony and the ecstasy of the chain stitch. Now, this is why using the chain stitch is such a great idea while you're doing fitting, especially if you're doing something with delicate fabrics. Because if you've altered ready to wear, either had to lengthen or shorten it. I don't think I've ever had to lengthen anything in my whole life. But anyway, if you do, sometimes if you catch the thread just right, you can pull the whole thing out in one fell swoop. And that's because it's done with a chain stitch. And watch how easy this is. And you're not using your seam ripper or anything. And the great thing about this is that, especially for delicate fabrics, is you're not putting any stress whatsoever on the fabric. And you're always going to pull from the last stitch back to the first. If you try to pull from the first to the last, the stitches are locked. Always go from last to first. It all came out in one thread. And then if I pull out the other side, the needle thread, it's all out. And now we've got our new seam allowance. No stress whatsoever on the fabric. You don't have all sorts of little tidbits of threads to tidy up and pull out. Done. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon.